Hi children, welcome to today's chemistry class. In the previous classes, we were discussing about the atomic properties of different atoms. We have discussed about atomic radius, ionization enthalpy and electron gain enthalpy.
The next property, physical property of the atom we have to study is electronegativity. It differs from ionization enthalpy and electron gain enthalpy that already we have studied. These two properties, that is ionization enthalpy and electron gain enthalpy, are related with the isolated atoms. That means atoms in the free state. But this property, that is electronegativity, is the property of an atom in the bonded state. This electronegativity of an atom can be defined as the tendency of the atom to attract the shared pair of electrons towards itself in a covalent bond. If two atoms are combined together by a covalent bond, each atom has a tendency to attract that shared pair of electrons. That tendency of each atom can be called as its electronegativity. And this electronegativity cannot be measured experimentally as in the case of ionization enthalpy and electron gain enthalpy. Fluorine has the most tendency to gain electrons. So we are assuming that fluorine is having highest electronegativity and assuming the value of 4. The electronegativity of fluorine is assigned as 4, and by comparing with the fluorine, the electronegativity values of all other elements are calculated. This table was put forward by a scientist known as Linus Pauling, that is known as Pauling scale. Okay. But this electronegativity values are not constant. It will depending upon different factors. And these values of electronegativity of an atom helps in detecting the metallic and non-metallic character. That means if we know the electronegativity values of an atom, we can tell that whether it is metallic or non-metallic in nature. If the electronegativity value increases, we can tell that the tendency to attract electrons increases. That means the non-metallic character increases. Like that, if the electronegativity value decreases, the tendency to gain electron decreases. So the non-metallic character decreases. That means metallic character increases. So the least electronegative element will be most metallic. Okay. So that is the first application of electronegativity, that is we can determine whether it is metallic or non-metallic. Then the next application is that we can predict a bond is polar bond or a non-polar bond. What will be this polar bond and non-polar bond? Now we can discuss about polar and non-polar bonds. We know that a covalent bond is formed by sharing of electrons between two atoms. Suppose two atoms A and another atom A. Okay, they are sharing one pair of electrons, and as a result a single covalent bond is formed between them, that we can show like this. These two atoms A, they are representing similar atoms. They are sharing one pair of electrons, and as a result a single covalent bond is formed between them. And here, since these two atoms represent the same type of atoms, their electronegativities or their tendency to attract the shared pair of electrons also will be same. That means both these atoms are attracting these shared pair of electrons with equal strength. And as a result, these shared pair of electrons are standing in the middle of these two atoms. Okay. And such a covalent bond formed between these two atoms is known as a non-polar covalent bond. An example for such non-polar covalent bonds are the bond in hydrogen molecule or the bond in chlorine molecule, etc. Here two same types of hydrogen atoms are sharing one pair of electrons, and as a result a single covalent bond is formed between these two hydrogen atoms, that we can represent by a single line. Okay. Since these two hydrogen atoms are similar, they are equally attracting the shared pair of electrons. So that bond formed between them can be called as a non-polar covalent bond. Like that in the case of chlorine molecule also. Two similar or same type of chlorine atoms are sharing one pair of electrons, and that bond also can be called as non-polar covalent bond. Okay. Now suppose two different types of atoms are combined together. Suppose A and B. They represent two different types of atoms. They are sharing one pair of electrons, that we can represent like this. Both these atoms A and B are sharing one pair of electrons, and as a result here also single covalent bond is formed between A and B. But here suppose A has more tendency to attract the shared pair of electrons than B. So what will happen? A is attracting these shared pair of electrons more strongly, and as a result these shared pair of electrons are moving towards A. So that we can represent like this. Suppose this is the atom of A and this is atom of B. So this shared pair of electrons are moving towards A. Okay, and they are remaining close towards A. And since these two electrons are moving towards A or remaining close to A, this A is getting a small negative charge, and that small negative charge we can represent like this. This is reading as delta minus. And since these electrons are moving away from this B is getting a small positive charge, and that we can represent it like this, that is reading as delta plus. Okay, so here A has more tendency to attract the shared pair of electrons. That means A is more electronegative than B. And since A is more electronegative than B, these shared pair of electrons are moving towards A. And we know that electrons are carrying a negative charge. Since both these electrons are remaining close to A is getting a small negative charge. And since these electrons are moving away from B, this B is getting a small positive charge. Okay. And here, even though this presents a covalent bond, there arises a small negative and positive charge. Such a molecule is known as polar molecule, and that bond is known as polar covalent bond. Okay. So if the two combining atoms are differ in their electronegativity, there arises a small negative and positive charge on these atoms. And such a bond can be called as a polar covalent bond. Clear that? So both this non-polar bond and polar bond are two types of covalent bonds. The difference is that non-polar bond means it arises between two similar atoms. But this polar bond arises between two different types of atoms. Okay, which differ in their electronegativity. They should differ in their electronegativity. So, if we know the electronegative values of atoms, we can identify whether the bond will be polar bond or non-polar bond. Okay. If the two atoms are having different electronegativity values, that bond formed between them will be polar covalent bond. If they are having almost the same electronegativity, the bond formed between them will be non-polar covalent bond. So, a polar bond is formed between two atoms if their electronegativity is different. Okay. If the electronegativity of two atoms are different, the bond formed between them will be a polar covalent bond. And if the difference in electronegativity equal to 1.9, that bond is said to be 50% ionic and 50% covalent. And if that difference in electronegativity is greater than 1.9, that bond is considered as purely ionic. And if the difference in electronegativity is less than 1.9, that bond is considered as covalent. Okay. So the nature of the bond, whether it is covalent or ionic or polar, that is depending upon the difference in electronegativity of two atoms which are bonded together. Now, can you tell how this electronegativity varies from top to bottom in a group and from left to right in a period? Electronegativity, we know that it is the tendency to attract the shared pair of electrons, isn't it? So when we are moving from top to bottom in a group, the size of the atom increases, and as a result, the tendency to gain more electrons will decrease because the distance between the nucleus and the last shell increases. So the tendency to gain electron decreases. So we can tell that when we are moving from top to bottom, electronegativity decreases. But when we are moving from left side to right side in a period, the atomic size decreases and nuclear charge increases. So the tendency to gain electron increases. That means electronegativity increases. From left to right, electronegativity increases. From top to bottom, electronegativity decreases. Okay.